Welcome to the Kent Lapp Podcast.
What is the way forward with China? I mean, we have kind of created this monster now.
Yeah, I think that you just have to, like with regimes like Iran and China, you just have to let them fail on their own. Just don't empower them to stay in power and oppress their own people. And that's the problem with trading with entities. Is that it's maybe it's not our way, or it's not right for us to dictate to how the Chinese should do what they do. Okay, I'll accept that. But by trading with the current power, you're enabling them to stay in power over their people. So you're you can't there's no escaping. So I think it's sad, but it's true. I mean, buying oil from Arab countries that were like Iran and so on was not good for the people. They oppressed their own people. But in the end, I'm hopeful because I see these governments that do this to their people. They are failing. Eventually, they fail, and the problem is building something better afterwards. Much harder than we think. Sometimes it, the new government is not better.
Right. Yep.
That's the next step. We have to figure out how to do that. But they are failing left and right because they're not addressing the needs of their people, and the internet, thanks to the phone, the smartphone, is showing them how other countries are living. You can no longer lie to them,
Mm.
you know. So
So, do you see some sort of an uprising happening in China in the coming years?
it's hard to say. I don't have a special talent, uh, but I think that the current G is in power permanent, and that's going to eventually wear its welcome. The other people in the party that are being left out or being investigated or whatever, they're going to have something to say eventually. I don't see it as a situation that's in equilibrium.
Oh, okay.
How long will that take? I mean, in China, they measure things by hundreds of years.
Yeah.
I'm not willing to make that bet in my lifetime.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
but um, and some of it has to do with the West. How the West acts to them, acts towards them, will determine how long they stay in power. I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
they made a deal with their people. We create jobs, we improve your standard of living, and you give us power, and you don't complain about anything. That's the well. They can't satisfy the first goal. They can't. They don't get what the people are going to have an
Yep.
uprising. You
Yep.
know. And the important thing though is we can't control that. To a certain extent, we can make a choice whether to trade with them. But we can't accept. But we can and should be very cognizant of the fact that we can't let that spread to the rest of. We can't let their influence spread to Taiwan, Singapore, because that's what they want.
Mm-hmm.
That can't happen.
Mm.
That's the end of us, because then we would have no influence in the region, and we would have let a lot of people. The good thing about it, that they are their own worst enemy. India all of a sudden wants to cuddle up. Okay, Australia has finally had it, right? Um, Taiwan wants to buy arms from us and make deals on how to. So, so it's an American moment.
Mm-hmm.
And its reason it's an American moment is because we are the hopes and dreams of the sons and daughters of all those countries. They came to this country and created. It's the best pitch,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what everybody wants. So we just have to be aware of that and remind our children.
Yeah.
Not to be bombastic and patriotic or whatever, but it's out of an obligation to the human race.
Yep.
And while we're at it, protect those freedoms here so that they're not chipped away, so that the FBI can come in your house at any time or spy on you at any time or do all these things that were so against what the Constitution had in mind.
Yes.